Okay, you gotta go. It's time to go. Down. Get down.
Bye, doggy.
Get down. Hello, Clean My Space Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dream Home Reno, a long overdue episode of Dream Home Reno, and apologies for that.
Yeah, Chad, don't let it go that long again.
Yeah, well, the holidays were upon us, and we wanted to take some time to enjoy some family stuff, which we did, which was fantastic, but it is a new year, and we are back at it, and we are excited about this particular episode.
Despite my very low energy, no hair, no makeup being done for this, I'm dealing with laryngitis and probably strep throat. I am really excited about this episode. Chad's put together some really interesting stuff where you can see our ceilings going back up. And let me just ensure that everybody knows Chad understands the difference between a ceiling and a roof.
That's right.
Right? Okay, good.
That was
Very good.
something that was talked about in the comments. I do know the difference between a ceiling and a roof.
We've also got some great footage of our bathrooms going from where they were to kind of where they are now, so you'll see some progress there. We're not finished just yet. We've also, we'll take you along to make some tile choices and packing up our old house.
We have some moving footage indeed.
So, what do you say?
Why don't we get right into it?
In case you ever wondered how a ceiling gets installed, this is how. This guy, Dimitri, was so fast. It was really impressive the way that he managed to get our ceiling up.
With a simple screw gun and his little lift, which held all of
It's not a little lift.
Okay, it's a big lift, which held all of the sheets of drywall up for him. This man methodically, over the course of 2 days, took care of our entire roof.
And what he did is he measured each area that he needed to put up a sheet of drywall, cut if needed, and that is how he was so efficient. Like watching this guy, it's not just any old Joe putting up a ceiling. This guy had a method.
All right, let's get back to our bathrooms. This is the master bathroom.
Now here's a job I would never do. Cut something in a garbage dump. These guys were brave. And aside from framing out our new shower, because we decided not to retain the same shape that the previous owners did, they were also preparing the watertight drywall that would be going in there as well.
Back to Dimitri, who's now taking care of some taping.
It was amazing when we finally got to walk into the house and see what it would look like with our new ceilings and with those pot light holes.
All the seams were taped, all of the screw heads were taped. Sneak peek of what the guest bathroom is looking like. Here's the closet in the master bedroom. And here's the part that Melissa was really looking forward to.
Oh, come on, you were looking forward to it as well.
All right, maybe I was. This is the guest bathroom, and right now we are laying...
Well, we're not doing it. Our amazing workers were doing it, but they're laying the mat that will contain the wires for the heated floors. If you're redoing a bathroom, I cannot recommend this little upgrade enough. This has made all the difference in our new bathroom.
And then back into the living room, where again, more taping and filling and patching was going on. Now, some of you might remember this space. This is the basement in the old CMS HQ.
With all of your stuff, Chad.
With all of my stuff. And as you can see, all of that stuff is now being packed up and getting ready to move to the new house.
And a quick shout out to Frog Box. Those are those green boxes. They're reusable moving boxes, and we loved using them. Here I am doing possibly the cutest job that anybody would have to do packing up a home. I was packing up Riley's little nursery, and I got to look at all of her little toys and her little clothes, figure out quick ways to pack them up, which mostly involve packing paper and tape. Nothing fancy here, but that was definitely one of the more exciting jobs I got to do.
And speaking of packing up cute clothing, here's me packing up my cute clothing. Since we were only here for another week or so, I decided to slim down my closet, well, all of my clothes to be exact. So therefore I only had in the house what I actually needed to wear.
Thank goodness for the circle of neglect. It did keep Riley entertained while we were packing.
And while Melissa took care of some final touches in Riley's room, I zipped up my last load of clothes to bring to the new house.
Here's the space that I never like going into. It's the garage in our old house. I just let Chad have this one.
There was a bunch of stuff in the garage which needed to go over to the new house. There was
like that tennis racket that you always use.
Well, you know, one day maybe I will play a game of tennis. We had like a million boxes which needed to be broken down. We had a bunch of stuff which needed to come over to the new house. Some stuff which needed to be thrown away. And load by load, I loaded up the car and drove it to the new house. And then came back to do it some more.
Here's an idea of what the master bedroom and bathroom looked like before. You can see they had just a little nook for the shower on the right-hand side. And I think from a decor standpoint, there was a little bit of work to be done. So we were really excited to strip it out, make our shower much bigger. You can see the idea of what the shower is going to look like.
We've switched to a rain shower head, and we've also included a couple of niches.
Since we reused the old counter, we're just having the one sink, but I'm sure we'll survive.
And the toilet has been removed and yet to be replaced, so this is not a functioning bathroom.
Now here's a little fix that we had to do. Once the rain shower head was installed, we realized that the pot light hole was drilled too close to the shower head, so they had to seal up the old one and drill a new one with a more appropriate spacing.
And while that was being done, some more finishing touches on the edging and some taping were being done in anticipation of some tiling.
And that's one of those things, you know, the pot light that I just talked about, things like that pop up all the time when you're doing renovations. So you just have to be prepared to roll with it, pay a little bit extra if there's a mistake so that you can have it done properly.
It's amazing the amount of work that goes into these little small details. Now, what's happening right here is a little piece is being cut in order to fit over the shower head.
Yeah, and Chad, they had to work around you getting up in their business while you were filming things.
That's true.
Our old bathroom. This is the guest bathroom. This is what it used to look like.
The carpeted bathroom, I'm sure many of you will remember.
Well, trust me, it's not carpeted anymore. And here's a cute little tidbit. On the day we moved in, the old homeowners left for us 2 little bath toys that their daughters played with when they were growing up because they thought Riley might like them.
And now we have some pot lights. And if you look down, an orange floor ready for some wires for heated floors.
The tub has been installed and there's only one thing left to do in this bathroom, Chad. We've got to figure out our tile situation.
We have to figure out our tile situation.
And the toilet stayed in because that's where the workers actually went to the bathroom, but we did end up replacing it.
Over here, this is the master bedroom. This is the closet, which was once mirrored sliders and is now a framed-in, drywalled, full closet.
Here's the great room and what it used to look like. This is the room that we really fell in love with when we bought this house, but we saw a lot of potential. So we were really excited to remove some of the elements that we didn't like anymore and start to put our own touches on them.
So the popcorn ceilings are gone and holes have been drilled for the pot lights.
Now this was cool. They were applying a special paint to go on top of the surfaces that were going to be tiled in the bathroom, and this is yet another water protection method.
And then it was time for a road trip to go and pick up some tiles.
Many of you have been asking us if we ever butted heads on decisions when it came to making this renovation happen. And I have to say that one of the areas where we had the most trouble was actually picking out tiles for the guest bathroom. I knew what I wanted, Chad had some ideas in his head, and tiles, even though they might look relatively similar, there's so many nuances and things that you have to pay attention to because you're going to live with this tile for a while.
And a place like Home Depot has a selection of like thousands of tiles, so it was a little overwhelming to make the decision, to say the least.
We knew that we wanted a large tile for the floor and some sort of mosaic to go on the shower wall. It was just a matter of picking and agreeing.
Eventually we did agree on some tiles, and we grabbed a trolley to pack them up.
Okay, now talk about the most helpful person you'll ever meet at Home Depot. This lady in the white polka dot shirt, she was outstanding. Not to mention, she was singing while she was helping us load up the tiles.
Singing while she worked.
Oh, one thing to note, they didn't have enough mosaic at the one store. That's the little box closer to the camera. So we actually had to go to a few different stores to pick them up.
And if you're interested in seeing what those tiles look like in our bathroom, you're gonna have to wait until the next episode of Dream Home Reno.
You know what's actually happening in the next episode of Dream Home Reno? Well, you do because you're editing it, but we're gonna reveal the floors. So it's been a long time. We've been really excited. Everybody who walks through our front door and sees the floors, they just rave about them. They are so beautiful. I cannot wait for you guys to actually see what they look like installed and ready. in the next episode. And before we get into answering some of your questions from the previous video, which is something we do at the end of every video, we just wanted to thank our sponsors in this video, particularly Home Depot, for the tiles and some of the other things that you saw going in the house. So thank you guys so much, Home Depot. And also for our series sponsor, Armstrong Flooring, who provided us with the absolutely spectacular, breathtaking, stunning floors that we're finally going to show you next week. Okay, Chad, let's talk about these questions.
The first question is, what was it like living in a construction zone?
It was like this.
That's a perfect answer. Hello to both of you. I enjoy your channel and love watching renos. I have a question for you. After seeing the entire reno completed, are you happy with the end result, or would you have changed something?
I'm so happy with the end results. I don't think I'd change one thing.
I think the house is now uniquely ours, and I would not change a thing either. Is it a Canadian thing to call it a roof? I have always called it a ceiling. And you're right, I often call it a ceiling. However, during the last episode, I called it a roof like 6 times. So I apologize. I understand the roof is on the outside of the house, and the ceiling traditionally is on the inside.
It was just Canadian of you to apologize.
Yeah. I wonder how the old owners feel about their house being broken down like that.
It's a really good question.
I included this question because we thought a lot about
We've talked
that.
about them, yeah.
Because we knew that we would be filming this series and that we would be saying a lot of things about the finishes that they had and their finishes. And they are lovely people.
They're so nice. We actually thought about maybe in the near future, when things are a little bit more complete, having them over if they'd want to see it. Because to be honest, it might actually be a little traumatizing to see the house that they were in for 34 years be completely different. I don't know.
So we just kind of marched on. We are turning the house into our house because it is our house now. We were trying to be as respectful as possible in the way that we presented how it was before. But yeah, there you have it. That tack strip that holds down the carpet is called a tackless. And I included this because I had no idea and I learned something.
Because it's a fun fact.
There you go. Did you know that it was called a tackless? Leave a comment down below. And finally, do you guys have a playful relationship? Chad seems to get picked on a lot. We only see a fraction of your day, so I was just curious.
Why don't you answer that question? And just to be clear, he's not being coerced right now. He picked that comment.
And I edit the videos and I write a lot of the jokes, and no, I don't get picked on often. And that'll do it for another episode of Dream Home Reno. Be sure to leave your questions or comments in the comment section down below for inclusion in the next episode.
You know what I just realized?
What?
I've been looking at this camera the whole time.
Oh my gosh, have you really?
So I'm going to be outroing to this camera. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support during the Dream Home Reno series. I promised you guys I'm going to keep a tighter leash around Chad so he actually gets these out faster. Thank you guys for all your support. We love you very much. We'll see you soon.